All right, here we go. Let's welcome our next fighter, making his way to the cage, Nasty Nate Harris.
Nate Harris making his way to the cage now. The 5'9" tall fighter's 28 years old, stands in the orthodox position, making his debut fight here tonight at the University of Mixed Martial Arts. A great place for your debut, of course. His hometown of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Actually trains with 10th Planet Santa Fe, one of the many satellites of Eddie Bravo's 10th Planet Empire, where he's currently a purple belt under Tate Fletcher, who you may or may not have heard mentioned consistently on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast.
Well, by fight, I think you mean combat jiu-jitsu match. If you guys don't know, this is actually going to be a jiu-jitsu match. We're not going to have any striking. This is going to be a grappling-only match.
Well, in combat jiu-jitsu, we do allow striking, but only on the ground.
To the body, right?
You can head strike on the ground.
Oh, this is the stuff that Eddie Bravo came up with, right?
Eddie Bravo's pet project, combat jiu-jitsu. Sort of a half step between traditional jiu-jitsu competition and straight-up mixed martial arts. Again, they are allowed to strike, but only on the ground. While standing, it's purely grappling and wrestling, judo, things of that nature.
Interesting.
One of our fighters tonight on the card, Eric Campella Cruz, was the victor here at the U in the first ever combat jiu-jitsu match last year. Let's send it back to the cage now with Salvador Arellano.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next fight is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the competition of combat jiu-jitsu. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Comes to the cage with a record of 1 win and no losses. He stands at 5'9" tall and weighing at 161.8 pounds. Representing 10th Planet Santa Fe, from Santa Fe, New Mexico, Nasty Nate Harris. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, making his debut. He stands at 5'9" tall and weighing at 158.6 pounds. Fighting with King's MMA and Test Thai Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Huntington Beach, California, George Pineda. Man in charge of the action, Mike Bell.
Here we go, everybody. Combat jiu-jitsu tonight. George Pineda in the red corner, Nasty Nate Harris in the blue corner.
It's a great nickname. All right, here we go. A little combat jiu-jitsu.
Gracie Veterano, old family first, fam. Taught the world to swing that double-edged sword. It works, fam. BJJ from GJJ, like Cool Herc gave birth to what your DJ plays. But despite the lineage, I will never be closed-minded. Refuse to see beyond the lines, you go blind. Rocker travels the 10th planet, I flow free. I'm welcome on mini-mats, gi to no gi. Though my branch traces roots to the original tree. Roots sprouted from the original seed. Water with blood, sweat, and tears, spotlight with sunlight. That tree became a forest, ballet tudo done right. Then Hoist dominated them all in one night. And hate song hasn't been beaten in one fight. Flow with the goal, in a hit on an holly note. That to continue to win, we must continue to grow. Let's go!
Notice both guys coming out in a wrestling stance, not much worry about getting kicked in the face early on.
Here we have looking for some control here against the cage. Not really sure how he's looking to get to the ground, but I think a little change of positions.
George working now for a takedown, grabbing a high single.
He's got himself a single, and he's got himself a takedown. Now they can strike.
This is a really interesting way to test your jiu-jitsu because, again, most jiu-jitsu competition, not allowed to punch each other in the face. But when you add that element on the ground, it really brings back that old adage of punch a black belt once, he's a brown belt. Punch him twice, he's a purple belt. Punch him 3 times, he goes straight from purple to white.
Let's see what belts these guys are going to be in a little bit. So now we got Nate on top. He's in somewhat of a half guard. Seems like Jorge was trying for a little arm triangle. Nate's just pressing in, trying to possibly move to a better position, maybe a mount or a side control. But he hasn't really tried much striking himself, really just pushing the jiu-jitsu.
it becomes a whole different world trying to work a sweep when people can actually hit you while you're trying to set that sweep up.
Yeah, I think this is a great transitional sport for guys that are trying to, go from jiu-jitsu to MMA, get used to getting punched. It will help you a lot. Definitely get used to getting punched, and it's a little different when there's punches coming than regular jiu-jitsu.
Now, one big note for people watching at home, in the amateur ranks, there are no elbows allowed. So that's one weapon on the ground that they're not going to be using.
And we got Pineda's almost mounted. He's got his back given up with a couple seconds left. That's really, really tight, and a tap. A tap before the bell. And we have ourselves Nate Harris, winner by rear naked choke in the combat jiu-jitsu match against Jorge Pineda.
It was a really nice transition to the back that set him up. It's tough when you get a choke locked in there and you hear that warning bell and you know you don't have much time, but when that squeeze gets put on, sometimes that squeeze is just way too much, even with seconds to go.
Yeah, you have to either say, I'm going to get put to sleep, or I'm going to wait this bell out. You got to, or tap, and what you did.
Really good show of sportsmanship after this fight between these competitors. One thing I do like about the amateur ranks, not a lot of the same posturing that you see in professional mixed martial arts. Not a lot of unnecessary bad blood. Here we have that replay. Look at how quickly he gets that choke in once he transitions to the back.
Yeah, that was a great transition. He knew he had a short time. A lot of guys with short time wouldn't really try for a choke. He still tried for it. He got himself to finish. You think when you hear that click that the round's going to end, you can relax, and you can't.
At any opening, you can see that. Just a couple of seconds changes the entire nature of that fight.
And there we have it, a combat jiu-jitsu win. Now we're just waiting for the official score to get in there and announce our winner.
Nasty Nate Harris enjoying a moment of celebration with his coach, Eddie Bravo.
Got Eddie taking some pictures.
It's got to be such a relief in that first fight to get that first victory.
Big weight lifted off your back, I'm sure. This is, especially when you got your coach Eddie Bravo. You want to do well for him. You want to win and show him that his jiu-jitsu is pretty dominant.
Talking about George Pineda, I didn't really see a lot of holes in his game. Really, I think I attribute that loss to just a momentary lapse in concentration when he heard that clack go in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, and it's combat jiu-jitsu, so it's a great place to test it. Maybe he could go back to the drawing board and see what he wants to work on, and maybe come back and actually do a mixed martial arts fight. But great way. I think it's a great way for fighters to start. It's a little easier than jumping right in there. But he made one mistake and relaxed and got his back taken. Eddie Bravo is all about the transitions. So once he saw an opening, he went for the transition, locked up the choke, and finished it.
Once again, the only place to officially see combat jiu-jitsu is here at the University of Mixed Martial Arts with our second combat jiu-jitsu fight in the books. Let's enter the cage now to hear our official decision with Salvador Arellano.
The third man in the ring, Mike Bell, brings the fight to a halt 1 minute, 58 seconds into the first round. Your winner by tap out by way of rear naked choke. Out of the blue corner, Nasty Nate Harris.
Renato, Porra caralho, you have a hedge beard, look like that guy from the Josh Bocek. You look like a Josh Bocek who's out of shape.
Who is that?
That guy from UFC. And you also look like that guy, Half Mouth from Happy Days. Get on my face, porra caralho.
You sad ass Coco Beware
get your face,
impersonator.
Get your face.
Did you leave your bird at home?
Don't touch me because I'm gonna fucking beat your ass. Get out, fuck away from me.
Oh shit! He's passed out completely by now. I'm telling you, he's just on acai alone right now. It's the only thing.
Try to watch some Poontang. I'm immune for that one. I'm gonna listen to Marcelo Jordan. I'm still here. I'm still living, brother. Get your little dick off my ass. It's just in your hand. These are hard times, baby. La casa floja.
Let's go with it.
Flyers here. Oh, my flyers here, look. That's me. That was before.
Yeah. He's great.
You're looking for the seminar?
Yeah, it's just, thank you, just through these doors here.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. But anyways, today, since we have quite a few MMA fighters, I'm going to get down to what I think is probably the most important position in MMA. And if those of you that have been watching, you guys watch Ronda Rousey at all? If you watch Ronda Rousey as an MMA fighter and you're studying what she's doing, she's not worried about taking the back. She's not interested in taking the back. As soon as she has the back, she's going right to arm bars. She's transitioning. In the 10th Planet system, we call it swim moves. We're trying to get to Spiderweb, and that's been my favorite position. If it came down to finishing someone, if there was $1 million prize, and I was given the choice of back control or Spiderweb, I'd always take Spiderweb. And you're seeing this a lot more in MMA. You're seeing people take the back in MMA, and nothing's happened. In MMA, pay attention to the UFC. You'll see people take the back, and by the time they take the back, there's probably about 2 minutes left, minute and a half, and the guy's surviving, he's fresh, he knows how to defend. That's the one thing that most MMA fighters focus on, especially non-grapplers, is not getting choked out. You don't want to get choked out in MMA. That's the worst spot. They take your back. So people that suck at grappling are getting really good at defending the back. And you're seeing a lot of this in MMA, over and over and over. Volkman against Bobby Green. This was probably 3 UFCs ago. Volkman was all over Bobby Green. Had his back in the second round. The whole round he had his back. Bobby Green's calm. He's defending. Volkman's punching him. He's just staying at the back. He's not moving to anything else. Most people think if you're on the back, just stay on the back. Don't move to anything else. Don't transition. Yeah, the whole second round, the round ends. Now it's third round. They're standing up again. Bobby Green hurts Volkman towards the end of the round. He ends up taking his back. Volkman's hurt. Bobby Green takes his back down, chokes him out. So to me, that just tells me that the back in MMA, especially with the gloves, the back, rear naked chokes are best when your opponent is tired and hurt. That's when you take them out. he's tired, he's wore down. Then you stay on the back, and then your rear naked choke better be tight and smooth. Look at Marcelo Garcia. He's known as the best rear naked choke master on the planet. He had one MMA fight. He had the guy's back for a couple minutes, couldn't finish him. The gloves make it hard. Getting under, it's very easy to defend the rear naked choke nowadays. So now more than ever, and it's important to have if you like the back, go for the back. Go for a rear naked choke, but don't hang out there for 2 or 3 minutes. You have to have a plan B and a plan C. For me, plan A is getting to Spiderweb. The armbar position, if you're not aware of what Spiderweb means, the armbar position with your opponent's back on the mat, that is the most important position in MMA. And mastering as many transitions, getting there, that's to me the most important thing. All my MMA fighters, that's more important than rubber guard, more important than half guard. All that's important, but mastering, finishing the fight in Spiderweb. Not hanging out on a guy's back and waiting for there to be 15 seconds left and then transitioning. No, transition immediately to Spiderweb. That's what I would do. That's what Ronda's doing. She's not staying on the back, she's going right to the arm. So, and especially from the mount, there's transitions to Spiderweb in all different angles. From the mount, from the back, from failed triangles, there's all these transitions. But the one from the mount, when you're in the mount, going for the armbar, generally is most top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts think in MMA, only transition from the mount to the armbar when there's like 15 seconds left. And why? Because they're aware that they're gonna lose position, and if they lose position, there's only 15 seconds left, and it won't cost them the round. Does that make sense? That's the general rule. You're in the mount, you wanna punch and get the back. That's really what it is. Don't go for that arm until the very end of the round. And I agree with them if they don't know how to prevent the scramble that they're afraid of. They're afraid of going to the armbar because as soon as they go to the armbar, the guy on the bottom is going to roll up when they sit back, and then he's going to be on top, and there might be a scramble. But if you eliminate that scramble, you'd want to get there as fast as you can, not with 15 seconds left. You want to get there with 4 minutes left. So now they're on their back, there is no scramble, and he's done. So, Simon? Before we get into all the most important transitions to Spiderweb, and this is, if you follow these rules and you practice these transitions and you master these transitions, I guarantee you can fight in MMA. And even if you're not, submission grappling, I don't fight MMA. These are the most important transitions for me, and I'm not even fighting MMA. This is where I want a guy. I want a guy on his back, and I want to be right here. The most important part of Spiderweb is just 3 important things that you have to remember. The most important thing is
And first place from Penn Play Jiu-Jitsu, Point Jr.
Fear, brain dysfunction, brain imbalance, then it should be
JRE, homie.
fear and sexuality and pride.
Sexuality is low?
Oh,
Way
no.
up. I thought it was way up there.
Well, it's in a sense because it's a doorway to something way up there, doorway
Right.
to love.
Oh,
So
man.
sex is actually a
That's
very
bad
special
news.
one because
Powerful Johuaj.
What are we up to today, man?
We're going to do Latin Nation. It's a KTLA Channel 5 show about Mexicans in the world. And I'm a Mexican and I'm in this world. So we're going to, I don't know what to expect, man. Latin Nation has no idea. But my aunts will probably like it.
Let's do it.
So now that we understand perfect spider web, perfect arm crush, perfect arm bar at the end, never letting go of those legs, never losing control of the legs. Now we need a transition, all the transitions to get to that spot. The easiest one is the transition from the back when the guy's on all fours. The hardest one is when you're on the back and you're on your back and he's leg pressing. That's the hardest one. That's probably the most important one, because if you could do that, if you can pull that one off, everything else is easy. Right? And then, there's a lot of stuff that could happen from the mount. The mount has at least 3 or 4 different ways where you could transition. All right? So, just to make, we're going to start off with the easiest one, Simon. Guy, you're on a guy's back. And if this is the only transition you know and you're doing MMA, this is the only one you know, you'll be fine. Because this is such a common position in MMA where you're on a guy's back, he's on all fours here, and either we got our hooks in and I got my over under and he's defending. Sometimes you're doing this, there's a minute left. You got to have a smooth transition. This is the easiest angle because that angle for the deep hook, it's right here. It's so easy. I can just Hello, my name's Dave Bravo. I'm here for Latin Nation.
Oh, got it. Okay. I'm going to let someone know.
Okay, thanks.
But, so we're going to talk about you in the first segment. The second segment, I want to move on to blood conspiracy theories and IB2. Oh, okay. I'll be right there. I'm going to join you in the green room right there.
Okay, cool.
So just make yourself comfortable. We're going to get some more waters in here.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Can I have a carrot?
Yeah, if you want to. Seriously, put there. And when you have a chance, can you sign this for me? Okay, let me grab your books.
So,
Thank
so
you.
we're going to have you on for 2 segments. I have a co-host, really cool chick. She actually did a segment with Henry Gracie where they taught her jiu-jitsu, so maybe
I dropped your name once when I got pulled over.
Good, dude. Do it. Man, use that bad
it was
boy.
scary. It was scary. It was scary, man.
I had Manny Gambarian tell me one time, he says, dude, you got me out of a ticket.
Hey, man, I dropped your name once when I was banging this chick. I was like, yeah, I'm Big John McCarthy. Big fucking John McCarthy. No, that's not true.
So check this out. I'm teaching maybe 3 or 4 years ago. At our old location, not the last one, but the one before. It was on La Brea. It was on La Brea and Hawthorne where
Is this the one where I'm in the car?
No.
Where I was in the car, and then you were parked on the sidewalk.
What were you doing in my car?
What do you think?
Getting high.
You don't smoke weed.
I know I don't, but I did that night.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
You're like, come in.
Was your first time?
Was Sean Bollinger?
Yeah, it might have been Sean too.
Yeah. Well, anyways, at this gym, there was a parking structure behind the gym that you park and then you walk down all the floors and you go all the way around. Or there's on the corner, there's the wheelchair access, the corner. You could drive up that through the corner and park right in front of the gym. It looks very illegal. But Chris Riley would always park there, and he was the one who owned Legends, and 10th Planet was inside Legends, and I would always see his car there during the day, and for months. And then finally he said, when I'm gone, you could take that parking spot. That's the head instructor right there. I'm like, really? You don't have to park in the parking structure. Just park right there. So then I just started pulling right up. It looks like a crazy move when you park right up. You go through the edge of the corner, and then you just park right in front. And I did that for a while, and there was I generally, after class, Sean Bollinger, one of my black belts, and I guess Alder. I never.
Maybe the one and only time. With
damn, you never smoked weed. Anyways, we smoked a little weed in my car. End of class, time to go. They get out of my car. I back out like I always do. I had to back out of a corner into an intersection. You realize how dangerous that is?
Right onto La Brea.
Right onto La Brea.
La Brea, which is
Can you imagine backing into La Brea and then boom, and then I go north on La Brea, and just soon as I backed out, woo, cop pulls me over. Go into the I go into the alley. They turn me in, and it's this 23-year-old big white guy and a 5'3" little Mexican chick partner. Little chick, little lesbian Mexican, 5'3". She's like a pit bull, right? So he comes up to he comes up to my car door and he goes, "Sir, do you know what a sidewalk is for?" And I said, "For walking." And he goes, "Do you know what the streets are for?" And I said, "For driving." And he goes,
dude, you're getting 100% on this test so far.
Yeah.
So keep going.
He goes, are these trick questions? Like, what? He goes, then why were you driving on the sidewalk? And I said, "Officer, I don't even know why. I knew that looked weird, and I told him the story. The owner of the gym, he said I could park there, and I always saw him park there, and I thought he must have had some permission from the city or something. I didn't get it either. I will never do that again." And I was just being honest with him, and he was cool. He said, all right. Do I smell marijuana? And I said, I was being honest up to this point. I said, yes. He goes, "Get out of the car." He pulled me out of the car, handcuffed me, put me against the wall, and I'm against the wall, handcuffed, and his little pit bull, little Mexican partner's going through all my shit. He's pissed. I'm just sitting there looking at the wall. Joe Rogan, Jason Chambers, Einstein, they're all walking. They came out of the gym later. They're all walking by, and the cop goes, keep walking. And Joe's going, "I'm going to call a lawyer for you." And Einstein, they're all looking at me, and I was handcuffed, man. The head instructor handcuffed, looking at the wall, going, oh. I was praying. It really was. I go, if there's any kind of matrix out there or any kind of spirits or shamans out there, I learned my lesson. I had weed everywhere in my car. I didn't give a shit. I would smoke in my car. I had weed in my car. I thought, I had the license. I thought I could just do. If you scraped my car, you can get a good quarter of some good shit. It'd be some good shake, right? So I'm staring at the wall.
asking the spirits to let me get out of this one. Please don't take me to jail. I learned my lesson. I will never drive with weed ever again. I learned my lesson. And they opened up my trunk and they're going through all my shit. And I had a bunch of Mastering the Rubber Guard books back there. And Big John McCarthy, he was one of the guys that wrote, what do you call those things in the back of the books? Those
The forward?
No, not the forward. In the back.
The testimonial
The
thing on the back?
testimonial type stuff in the back. So Big John, so I decided just to get real with this guy. I go, listen, man. I smoke weed every night. I go home and I'm going to have me a sandwich and I'm going to watch TV. It's not like alcohol. I'm not going to go out and kill anybody. I'm fine. Right now, I'm fine. I'm just going to hang out tonight. And I do this every night. I teach jiu-jitsu for a living. I go, look at my book. You see my book? I teach jiu-jitsu. Look, you know who Big John McCarthy is? Look at the back of that book. I'm handcuffed. I go, look at the back of that book. That's, Big John. And he's looking. He goes, yeah, I know Big John. I go, look at what he said about my book and about me. I go, I'm not a bad person. I have a prescription. You could look at my prescription. This is not alcohol. This is not alcohol. This is marijuana. This is medicine, man. And he's all, if I didn't smell it, I would have no idea that you're on weed, And he's like, I could tell I'm knocking a little sense into him. And he said, And he was like just standing there thinking, like Big John McCarthy, like struck. And I also threw Lou Salcida in there too.
There you go, good for you.
Lou Salcida's deep in the police academy. I go, Lou Salcida, we got our black belts from the same instructor, a guy named Jean-Jacques Machado. I'm not a bad person. I have a prescription for this stuff, man. And then his partner was ransacking my car, which is my car already looks ransacked. I mean,
I was going to say, I fit in that thing.
Jesus. She was, so you really couldn't tell the difference. I could tell the difference. It was an organized mess. I know that all my empty bottles are on one side, but she's like, I can't find his insurance. And then he goes, yeah, his insurance is fine. He's fine. He goes, don't worry. Like he's already telling her to calm down. He goes, listen, I'm going to have to give you a ticket. I'm going to let you go, but I have to give you a ticket, man. You just go to the court and pay. It's going to be like $300 or whatever. And just don't drive on it when you smoke. Please, just don't drive. I'm like, I'm sorry. And then since then, I swore 99.
What was the ticket for?
It was like possession of the pipe. That's what he gave me, the possession of the pipe. So he was really cool. So I went and it was, it was $350 or whatever. I was stoked. I'm like, prayer works, man.
Why is it that there exist so many goddamn religions?
Eddie Bravo Radio, top motherfucker. Whatever. Oh, Eddie Bravo.
I'm on the run and I don't know where I'm ending up. Trekking the globe makes it hard for me to stay in touch. I'm on the run cause I'm more than just the place I'm from. Taking control of my destiny is number one. I'm on a space trip to another side.
Enough of that one. That's the easy one. That's the easy one. We'll get back to the other transition off the back. But now we're going to get into the mount, which is also very, very important. Get on your back. So, if we're here, and let's say we're only going to work on one side. We're not going to work on the other side. You work on the other side on your own. All right? There's several things he can do in the mount. The best thing for you is for him not to scramble. If he wanted to bridge off his shoulder and explode, which is very popular, he bridges off his left shoulder and he explodes. We got to be able to put.
Run, but you sure can't hide.
Where you going, you're not coming back from.
You guys okay? Do you guys need anything to drink?
No,
Doing
good.
great.
Good?
Thanks.
All right, we'll
Thank
see you
you.
on set.
Now the next one, Simon, same thing from the mount. The mount really, going from the mount to Spiderweb, there's two basic looks, and then there's some technical stuff if you get into the monoplata and the gogoplata from the top. You really don't have time to go over all that. That's another 3 hours. I'll show it to you, but we don't really have time to go over it. But for you MMA fighters, that's not necessary until later. The one we just did, super important to be able to jump on that deep hook, whichever way he goes. With this transition, it's important to have deep hook transitions on both sides and spiderweb on both sides. Because, again, he decides. If you're on the back, you decide. If you're in the mount, he decides. So, the next transition is he's not going to bridge over. He doesn't want to do that. You're in the mount, you're pounding him, and he's staying flat on his back. He doesn't want to do his back. He feels comfortable here. All right? So if his hands are up here, and he's just flat on his back, it's an easy transition. It's way easier than the last one we just did. All right? If we weren't punching and he just T-Rexed, man, this is hard. I don't have the angle. You guys understand that? I don't have the angle. I need his elbow right here to get the deep hook in. Right here, I can't put the deep hook in. And since there's no punching, it's going to be really hard. The mount without punches becomes super technical. There's a lot of stuff going on. Mount without punches. Mount with punches, it becomes so basic. So he's got his hands up, so I have his elbow up. I got to keep it up with my body, because he could easily just go back down. So it's up, slapping him in the forehead. The transition is
What a beautiful scene. It's like a nice living room. Nice room back there.
I know that voice. I've been watching your videos. I'm Gabby. Nice to meet you. I didn't realize
Are you the co-host?
I am.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So it's Umberto and Gabby.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're so excited to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
There's a place where we can meet. There's a place where we can meet. There's a place where we can meet. There's a place where we can meet.
here at the Tap Out Gym on the corner of Pico and Grand in downtown LA. You can park across the street over there. See that parking lot right there? Just leave your car there. After 8, you can park on the street. No parking problems here. Enter. Got the weight room here, women's bathroom there. Strongest man in LA right here. Men's bathroom, really nice. Take a quick shot of that. Shower over there. Full-size cage. You can have a class in there, it's so big. And the mat's completely wrapped in a cage, which is awesome. There you go. What you waiting for? Now, real quick before we leave the mount and we end with the hardest transition to Spiderweb, and one of the most important, it is the hardest one, I'm going to show you just real quick how these miscellaneous deep hook transitions to Spiderweb. These are all deep hook transitions to Spiderweb. Does that make sense? We found a deep hook. We found the angle to put the deep hook in. Now we need a transition to Spiderweb. So, you MMA fighters, every one of you guys, everyone needs to master every deep hook transition to Spiderweb possible. And obviously, the Spiderweb position must be mastered. That must be a very dangerous position for you. Every single MMA fighter. Right now, most MMA camps are not worried about deep hook transitions or defending deep hook transitions to Spiderweb. They're not too concerned. They're not focused with defending Spiderweb. Most MMA fight teams are primarily concerned with that rear naked choke. You don't want to get choked out in front of the world. Everybody's on top of rear naked choke defense and armbar defenses and overall defense. But no one is specifically worried about these deep hook transitions to Spiderweb. Just like most MMA teams are not focused on the offensive side of the deep hook transitions to Spiderweb. Only a couple. Only a couple. All right? So this time in MMA history is the perfect time to jump on this and have this as your edge. Does this make sense? Very few fighters out there. In the UFC, I don't even know, I don't know if there's even 3 fighters in the UFC that focus on the deep hook transitions to Spiderweb and are focused to the point where that's their go-to stuff. If they are, I don't see it. I'm watching every UFC. I don't really see it. I see everyone getting to the back, which is great. But again, I've said all night, getting to someone's back and they're fresh really doesn't mean that much. It may mean you won the round, but there might be another round or that third round that's coming up, and now you're standing up again. Now you got to take him down, pass his guard, and get his back all over again. You might get knocked the fuck out on the way to that. That happens all the time. Or get yourself choked out. Volkman, Bobby Green. Man, there's so many fights that I could use that example with. Guy had the back, and they didn't finish. The round ran out. They got knocked out in the next fight. Same thing with Struve. Struve had them out. That fight should have been over. It should have been done there. Mark Hunt survived. Mark Hunt broke his jaw at the end of that fight. In my opinion, if he would have concentrated on just going from the mount to Spiderweb, I think the fight would have been different. That's my opinion. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. What the fuck do I know? That's just my hypothesis. Is my guess. I could be full of shit. I've never fought MMA. This is just my guess. All right, so what I think. I could be totally wrong with all this shit. Okay, so once you start getting into the super technical mount, like the go-go plata from the top, like I said earlier, the mount in no-gi grappling is so much more complex and harder than MMA mount. MMA mount, you mount, you punch. You either got an arm triangle, because for an arm triangle, I need his arm up here. In no-gi grappling, how am I going to get his arm up there? I can't punch. MMA, I get his arm up there, all I got to do is punch. You're seeing arm triangles take over MMA now. People are starting to realize that that's what you want. You're in the mount, that arm's up, fuck that TKO. Look at Roger Gracie. He didn't try to knock dude out in the mount. I forget who he fought in his last fight. He didn't try to knock him out in the mount. He just tried to hurt him a little bit to get that elbow up so he could, you need the elbow for the arm triangle, it's right there. Arm triangle from the mount. Another thing, another dimension for you MMA fighters. That's really the focus. Your focus should be getting in the mount, getting their arms up. There's an arm triangle right here, or...
We're gonna start? Okay.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to Latin Nation, and I'm really excited about this next guest. I watched you on the Joe Rogan podcast. I watched you on your podcast, which is called
Eddie Bravo Radio. The last time Nate and Tim were at HQ, Nate was just crushing with the same pass over and over. He's got this pass down like a third-degree black belt. And it's nothing fancy. It's super basic. It's nothing new. But the way Nate does it is perfect and extraordinary. And I seen him just pass after pass. He just, opponent after opponent, he was just hitting this on all my top guys. So I wanted to share this pass, this simple, basic pass. It's very, very important. I don't even do it like this. It's simple and basic, but I don't do it like this. He's got his own little special tweak on it, and like I said, it's very, very impressive. Nate?
Yeah,
Denise, Tim?
Alright, so I'll just cut off one side here. This arm shoots under. Put in a flat here, so I'll grab onto the hip.
So you're kind of forcing a three-quarter guard, but with your left arm underneath his leg.
Yep, so then grabbing the hip here, clamping down so he can't shrimp away, move away or anything. And then I'll sprawl back here, and I'll try and push this before I use my elbow here.
Nice and simple and beautiful. It's that entry, when you get into that spot where you stuff his left butterfly, you get under his right leg, and that clamp down, that's the key, right?
Yep, so I'll just drop my knee to the outside here.
And your left hand huge on grabbing that hip, right?
Yep, right here. Because sometimes they'll throw this leg up, so I'll just make sure I have this clamp. But
doesn't matter if they throw that leg up, right?
No.
Nice. One more time. Beautiful. He was hitting the mirror with this too, which was pretty fascinating. One more time, let's get that entrance down from this angle real quick. Boom. Bam.
Let me get it from the back. Breeze right there. Boom. Boom. Nice and tight. Clinch with the right arm. Bam. Boom. Nice. Beautiful.
Until next time. Peace.
Good,
good, man.
Loved it.
Here's my card. I know we got our emails. Let's stay in touch, dude.
Absolutely.
All right?
Perfect.
We have Perfect. Thank you very much.
You get the joke about? That's awesome.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Aim for the head, go for the throat. One for the money and two for the show. Shooting like stars to travel the globe. Zooming your view like a Truman alone. Root of the bone, roof getting blown. All for this motherfucker burying my soul. Now that you know, take it in stride. Nobody's gonna make it out alive. You're probably gonna wanna pray to Christ. Take a moment to breathe and heed advice. Weaving these webs to seeds of lies. Attracts every angle, creed and type. I knew that I couldn't believe the hype. I knew I had to see it in a different light. I knew I gotta do whatever I gotta do to make a difference and make it my revenue. Hard times held quiet kept. When it caught in the grind, it's a tiny mess. When it's stretching in time to apply for a check. Eating the chest of a civil unrest. Sick of the symptoms, so tired to rest. Proceed with persistence, push to progress. Cease to believe in dreams, might as well be mentally deceased. Might as well just learn to like defeat. You only get one chance to be unique. Every fan that felt the fucking beat. I'll spit my flow to feel you speak. Just let the song that's on the scene. Just let it go until you're free. I'm that reckless, supposed to be in. Just when you thought we were out of our minds, we're up and above and ahead of our time. Like those shining kids. Moving ahead of the pack, refusing to lose, staying on the attack. I'm that reckless, supposed to be in. Just when you thought we were out of our minds, we're up and above and ahead of our time. Like those shining kids. Moving ahead of the pack, refusing to lose, staying on the attack.
This is the world's biggest mall, man. The world's biggest mall. Mall of America. Look at this shit. It's insane. And then check this out. They got a goddamn Disneyland in here. What the fuck? You guys know how to party. Holy shit.
That's right.
Now Tim's gonna show us, I asked Nate earlier what the number one thing, because Nate's with Tim every goddamn day. If anybody knows Tim's game, it's gonna be Nate. And I asked him, what is Tim's number one go-to black belt move? And Nate, what'd you say?
The flow over.
The flow over?
Sweep.
Flow over sweep.
Yep.
Show me what that's about. I don't even know what the hell that is.
From bottom side control, it's actually reversal. And it's when you can't turn into your opponent.
Wait, hold on. So the guy's got your side control. This is your side control escape.
Yeah, it's a reversal.
Okay.
I'm going to end up on top.
Are you gonna end up in side control? Or
I
what?
am, yep.
Okay.
So it's when I can't turn into my opponent, can't get back to guard. And priority number one here is I'm going to actually turn away. I want my hip to get inside of his thigh, right there. So since his knee's against my hip, I have to push myself up a little bit
and turn my hip so it's between his legs. I'm looking away from him. My top leg is going to come back and hook over his foot. And right here, this isn't good enough. He can switch his hips and get out of there pretty easy if he goes like a judo side. So I need to extend that and put a hook in underneath right here. So I'm kind of an empty half guard.
Nice.
My hand that is against the hip is now an underhook. And the best way to get this is when he starts to fish for my knees down there, I'm going to get wrist control. So if he starts pushing on that leg, I get wrist control. I'm going to push and get this inside handcuff grip right here. Once I have this grip, I know for sure I'm getting the sweep. I'm going to unhook the bottom foot, base it, bridge, and come all the way over to the top with my underhook.
That's sweet. Damn, that's nice. I think I've seen Jeff Glover do something similar to this. It's really nice. I don't think he's doing a handcuffing though, but he's doing something similar to that empty half, right?
Yep, empty half.
Nice.
If you can't get the handcuff, you can also do it with an underhook and block his leg as you flow over.
Let me see it.
Inside, hook. I need this bottom hook or else he's just going to be able to switch his hips to get out. If I can't get the handcuff, I pummel for an underhook, and my other hand is going to tap his knee as I come around. I'm just going to steer the bus. So everything else is the same. Unhook, tap, bridge
Damn.
over.
That's like just a knee tap double, right?
Mhm.
The GSP does and shit.
Yep.
From being side controlled.
Yep.
Nice.
And once you're halfway over, his weight just pulls you the rest of the way over.
Nice.
Very little effort.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Let me get a shot of all you fools.
we start to play, and you know, some guys start to show us how to do no gi. We used to go to the Rio de Janeiro for training, and over there, of course, we come for the Custom Gracie school, and they used to play 3 times a week with no gi. So I started to be interested about it. You know, it was a real game. We could move more. With gi, they hold you a lot. Off gi, the best guy always gonna win. Who got more, you know, movements, got a better chance with no gi. With gi, you know, the strong guy maybe have a better grip. He stops you. So we start to train some of no gi. But when I moved to Miami, about 10 years ago, to live with my mother, there I started to be really deep with no gi. Like train every day. I don't want to train with gi anymore. I wanted to become a pro fighter. You know, decide that's what I want to do for living.